The new economic policy has been a milestone of our society for decades, a policy I've fully supported and admired. Its original objectives are still relevant, but it is time to review its implementation. We will chase the same goals, but transform the way we do things. Our renewed affirmative action policy, therefore, will be built on 4 principles. It must be market-friendly, it must be merit-based, it must be transparent, it must be needs-based. For instance, one important consideration will be developing a competitive and transparent tender process with set and clear rules for the whole Bumiputera community, made of both Malay and other indigenous groups. This is set out as a common sense enhancement of our policies for a new economic reality where inclusiveness is a key component in our new economic model. In practice, this approach will mean greater support for the Bumiputera, a greater support based on needs, not race. The Bumiputera segment still forms the majority in the vulnerable groups by any measure. And while our new approach will help those on low incomes from any group, it will still largely benefit the Bumiputera community and at the same time provide for disadvantage of other communities. In assessing the results, fair distribution must encompass the whole spectrum of measuring wealth, such as equity ownership, other financial and non-financial assets, and access to wealth-creating opportunities, such as long-term concessions and contracts. Even in measuring ownership, it should go beyond equity to include other properties, business assets, such as retail, landed properties, commercial building, intellectual property, and other services, as well as managerial positions. A valuable example would be the redevelopment of Kampung Baru, a holistic opportunity of wealth creation and value enhancement that goes deeper and well beyond equity ownership. I have instructed the NEAC to develop a detailed framework to operationalize this new model of affirmative action based on a transparent and market-based mechanism to achieve fair distribution of the benefits of a high-income economy. The NEC report sets out its views that the previous mechanism that concentrated on target setting should now focus on structured and dedicated capacity-building investment that allows the Bumiputera to take advantage of new opportunities in the economy. In addition, fair access and opportunities to retraining, upgrading skills, and ability to gain employment, particularly in high-paying jobs, will also be emphasized for all Malaysians. This approach builds on our experience in implementing the affirmative action policy over many years. When they are implemented in a transparent, fair, and empowering way, they will yield better results. But for too long, the implementation of our affirmative action policies have not reached those who needed them the most. There is a perception that the non-Bumiputera have not benefited from the progress made to date, although facts and figures show otherwise. Therefore, the new principles of affirmative action stated earlier, we need to change this perception. We can no longer tolerate practices that support the behavior of rent-seeking and patronage, which have long tarnished the altruistic aims of the new economic policy. Strong support for that. Inclusiveness, where all Malaysians contribute and benefit from economic growth, must be a fundamental element of any new economic approach. These are the principles I want to see guide this next phase of consultation? Can we build a new model that creates a high-wage, sustainable and inclusive economy where together we prosper? I believe we are within striking distance. I believe there is widespread support for it across Malaysia. And I believe, knowing the ingenuity and creativity of all Malaysian people and Malaysian businesses, we can and will make such aspirations our national economic reality.